The embedded thing for Twitch on Blue Sky just said Twitch is the world. My God, Bezos, how bad can you get? Twitch is the world. What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. You're just saying words. I'm hoping people will think you're cool. No one thinks you're cool, Bezos. We all think you're a piece of garbage. Because you are. I just went into the room. Doom Scorb. Where is... Yeah. Alright. So we're doing that live, but I wanted to get the link for the stream. So I'm going to get these pulled up. And that's good. Okay. Been a hot minute since I've done any of this. Anna! I'm pointing at you. Yes, I'm a nerd. What about it? Also, UFO 50 OST. I thought that was an Aliana emote. But the meh. That's a good meh emote. Can't emote. Let's see. I've organized all my save files on here. So now all my saves are in here, my work stuff's in here. I think this should be good, yes. This one is technically the same as New Game. I just have them both so that one is backup. Toronto Silk Song, yes. God, I don't know if I've got quite I think I've got enough in my account for it. If not, I'll just have to wait a little bit. It might be on a launch sale, who knows. The real question is, do I get it on Switch or PC? I don't know if it's going to be on Switch 1. It might only be on Switch 2, in which case I'll have to get a PC. Turn down the music a little bit more. So, what all changes have been made? For one, I've now turned every unknown card into a relic. Yes, there's 25. Unknown R was a Japanese exclusive promo. Could not find a tabletop sim mod that had an English title, so I could actually search for it. So if there is one that has the Gen 2 cards with all the unknown, it's probably written in kanji, but I can't type out. So I'm both excellent. So I would love to switch to the Japanese cards so that I'm not trying to read the original text on these. One change that was made is Undo. Its effect has now become Vanish. And that is because the names for these two just make more sense. Undo is now effectively a devolution spray. Yeah, might have to wait a little bit. We'll just have to both wait about screaming about it until we both have it. And have had some time to play it. And be like, ah! But yeah, the new relics, I'm just gonna go through every single one of them, all 25, real quick. Anger is, essentially, you're able to turn your next attack into rage. So you get plus 10 damage for each damage counter on your attacking Pokemon. But that's once per route, and that's important to keep in mind for when we get to X attack. Bear is once per encounter, you can move a damage counter from your active Pokemon to one of your benched Pokemon. So it's kind of Slowbro's ability, but not quite. The Strange Behavior. Once per encounter, choose one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, switch it. Chase is basically a free Gust of Wind. Dark still works exactly as it used to. Once per encounter, you can take 30 less damage from a Darkness-type Pokemon. Engage, also the same. You may shuffle the opponent's current trainer cards and place them back face down in a random order. So you can have a really good chance of mixing up what they're about to actually play. Find, you can get yourself a trainer card from your deck once per encounter. Give is a little bit different. Actually, it is the same. Once per encounter, search for a basic energy card, attach it to one of your Pokemon. I think increase is... no. Different one. I don't remember which. Help, once per route, you can shuffle your hand into your deck, draw a new hand of the same number of cards. That is now where if it's an odd number, you draw the same number from both decks, and then you choose which one you want to go with the one card from. That's how it used to work, and that's how it works again now. But that was back in early alpha stuff. Yeah, I've heard Korean barbecue can be expensive. But, hey, that might be worth it for... especially, like, if your dad gets a bonus at work. That might be a fun place to celebrate. It's worth keeping in mind for, like, a birthday or holiday. Saving up for it. Part of what makes it a treat, isn't it? It's, like, not going quite as often. Oh, proper experience too. Awesome. I should probably try Korean barbecue at some point. I'm not a huge fan of barbecue because I'm not a huge fan of sauces on foods. Just something about the texture to it. Oh, that's sick. Yeah. That seems like that'll be a good time then. Yeah, increase. You can basically do a max revive without the energy cards. It's once per route. This is really good if you're running basic Pokemon, such as Hitmonchan, Electabuzz, or even Pokemon that have pivots. Scyther and Onix being examples. They have their evolutions with them, but they can work just fine without being evolved. So increase can be really good for that, depending on what you've caught by that point. Join, search your deck for a basic Pokemon or evolution card. I reworded it a little bit because that is how it's written in Pokeball. Keep. This one prevents any and all energy removal effects. It's a once per route effect because you only have 2 encounters where you'd be able to do it. So that's why I have stuff like Engage set to once per route, because there's only one time in a route you'd be able to do it. This one you can technically do it in either the trainer encounter or the gym leader encounter, but that just makes it have where it's like, okay, do I use it here or no? Laugh, you can shuffle a deck, either one of your decks or the opponent's deck, just because it's funny, and also, you know, you can use something like Observe or a Pokedex, see that the top of your deck is a bunch of garbage that you don't want to draw, and be like, alright, screw it, I'll shuffle it. It can be useful. I'm not gonna lie, this card actually has helped me before, as stupid as it is. I am now on phone. Nerd is on phone. Relic Metal is like Dark. You just take 30 less damage from a Metal Pokemon's attacks. This can be really useful on Brock and Jasmine's routes especially, so if you're about to go on one of those, it can be worth taking if nothing else is really jumping out at you. Dark and Metal are also really good if you are running Psychic or Grass respectively, like really heavy on those types, because those Pokemon will kind of wall you, and it gives you a bit of a resistance back to them. It gives you a defense option. Normal is really great if you're running Psychic as well, because if you're running Psychic or Fighting, because there's a lot of colorless Pokemon that resist. Normal is the same thing as Dark and Metal, but for colorless Pokemon. Observe, I was just mentioning, you can look at the top 5 cards of one of your decks or the opponent's trainer deck. You don't rearrange them, you just look at them. But that's foresight that you can have. Perform. Once per route, instead of attacking, you may instead copy the final result of your opponent's last attack. Effectively, this is Spearow's Mirror move, as a once per route effect. So, this includes things like, if it says, oh hey, you can attach energy cards from your discard pile, you can do that. You do all of that verbatim. Also, Paint Chase, my beloved. I'm not great at the game, but it's a fun one. Quicken. Once per route, you may prevent effects of all attacks to your Pokemon, but damage is still applied. So, this is stuff like if an attack like Ninetales or Victory Bell's Lure happens, it protects your active Pokemon and your bench Pokemon from being swapped out. It protects your active Pokemon from getting a status condition, from getting an effect like Sand Attack, where on the next turn, they have to flip a coin to attack. I chose to make it where damage is still applied because I didn't quite want this to be transparent walls. I might change that in the future. I'm gonna look for feedback on that one. The dog is released. Search. Once per encounter, you may reveal a top card from either your team deck or your bag deck. Then you may add that card to your hand, and if you do, shuffle one of the other cards from your hand back into your deck. If you don't have to shuffle, because you only reveal the top card. So this is a pretty fun card. I've actually enjoyed using this relic a little bit. Tell is once per route, reveal all of your opponent's face on trainer cards in their, quote, hand. So, that's really good with Engage. You can just Engage to shuffle it up and then Tell, and it's like, alright, now I know what you're actually going to do, and I've thrown you off. And then Undo, like I said, it is effectively a Devolution Spray. Also, I keep forgetting I need to add Hyper Devolution Spray into the prize pool. Because it was with the EV packs when I had those coming with trainer cards. Vanish is now what Undo used to be. You can basically super scoop up your active Pokemon, but only the active one. Want is you get a trainer card back from your discard pile, and because it's not an attack, it's not a trainer card, it's not an energy card effect, and it's not Pokemon Power. Pokemon Tower specifies those 4 sources. So Want is not affected by Pokemon Tower, which means it is really helpful in the Elite Four and Champion fight. X Attack. This is the one that I was saying to make sure you paid attention to the, like, Anger is once per route. X Attack is once per encounter, and it's basically a plus power. For a lot of these, I copied and pasted blocks of text and then modified them so that they keep consistent phrasing, which is also part of why, like, sometimes Pokemon has the accent mark over it, and sometimes it doesn't. Yield. This is the one that is different from Give. Once per encounter, you may search your deck for a special energy card and put it in your hand. So, it doesn't act as energy ramping, but it gives you a way to search for special energy cards. It's really good if you're running colorless, darkness, metal types, and it's also good if you have rainbow energies, potion energies, any of that stuff. It doesn't specify it has to be your team deck, just your deck. So any special energy card is fair game. And then Zoom! Relic Zoom is once per encounter you may switch your active with your bench Pokemon. It's just a switch card, but as a relic. So, you know, Switch and Chase are both actually really solid. X Attack is really solid. Yield is really good. I honestly feel like this is a good array of relics. There's still enough of them that are like, most of the time this is going to be disappointing, and other times it's going to be like, thank God, the one time I needed it. Look at these 3 nerds. They're very situational. Well, these 2 are much more situational. That one's really a lot more useful than you'd think. Yeah. So that's all 25 unknown relics covered. Just to have an update on that. Oh god, how much have I changed here? The 8 stars are the same. This is the most recent change, is that now there is a series of different starting bags. Of 16 cards each. The simple bag is what you're familiar with. 2 potions, full heals, switches, gusts, pokeballs, energy removals, energy searches, 1 retrieval, 1 provoke. And then each of these has taken out 3 of those cards and added 3 more cards, either that are new or are more copies of the same or some combination thereof. And each of them is a color associated with one of the types. This actually was inspired by Balatro, but I have to stress, I've never played Balatro. Actually, it wasn't really inspired by it directly. Someone I was talking to recently asked me to explain the game to them, and in trying to figure out how to explain it, I happened to think about, wait, you choose your starters. What if that could apply to your starting bag? So with each of these being based on a color for a type, they are kind of focused on what that type does a lot of. So the green deck, you'll notice it gets an extra Pokeball, it gets an extra Energy Search, and trades out the Provoke for Energy Flow. It only has 1 Energy Removal and 1 Gust of Wind, so it's much less offensively focused. And it's focused on getting your energy up online, getting your Pokemon up online, because a lot of grass types have 3 stages of evolution. So having 3 Pokeballs is much more reliable. And Energy Flow allowing you to grab up a bunch of energies and start pumping them back onto your Pokemon is pretty helpful. I'm not going to go through every one of these right now, but that gives you a basic gist of what they are. For the record, white is colorless, black is darkness, gray is metal. That's what those 3 are referring to. And orange is, fighting, psychic, lightning, water, fire, grass, original, simple deck. What else? Oh, right. The gym leaders work a bit differently now. If I just go ahead and grab out these, and I'll talk about another change that's been made. But here's the gym leader's deck. You'll notice there's still an object in here. Why is that energy search there? That's because each gym leader now has a personally curated selection of 4 trainer cards that they add to the trainer deck when you fight them. So now, you will not be having it where at the end you have every single one of the cards that would be over here in the deck and it's always the same. Every time you get to the Elite Four, and as you go through the Elite Four, they will have different cards at their disposal. Literally every gym leader that has a type that can be resisted, I gave them a copy of Magnifier, so that the player is not able to just completely wall gym leaders with resistance. You still have to wait for them to roll to use Magnifier, but, I mean, it's a little more likely that they'll do it. I got channel points? I cannot see that. When did I get that then? Achievements. Oh. No, not that. It begins. Your dashboard. Update your category. I don't know. It begins. I don't know where that one is. I'm not sure how I've gotten channel points. I will have to look into how to set those up then. I'm not sure what kinds of redeems I can do. I'll have to, like... I might ask Cran, Cat, some of them. I'm just like, how does this work? I apparently have this now. Oh, God. Oh, I'm not a fan of the Kirby with the eyes emojis and the mouth emoji. Yeah. You see how, the new trainer cards are a thing. The other change that I've made to routes is now I'm trying out where when you start a route, you shuffle the basic Pokemon and place one of those as the first encounter. And that seems to be a little more forgiving for the first encounter, so I might keep that change, I might not. That is, I think that's everything that's been changed in a nutshell. I want to say that's everything. But as you can see, I've been doing a lot of work on this. If I just show you guys, like, for instance, here's the routes and encounters and their current state. And again, you can see, like, this one is a bit older, so it's still got the old, weird, like, hand placement. I haven't made the custom zone over here. But yeah, this is what it looks like when I'm doing this shit. And then I go to work, stuff. Go to the new league battles. This one shows you how I've built the new trainer battles for the gym leaders, as well as their trainer cards. This is actually a big change. So now, some of the Pokemon they have are not necessarily fully evolved. For instance, Surge starts with a Pikachu. That's not its fully evolved form. Brock has a Graveler as well as a Golem. He also has an Onix, because why not? These are using the same cards that are already in the RCG, so it's not using anything from outside of that. The RCG is still pulling from a specific pool of cards. But you can see that this helps make it where I can scale the, like, ramping of the encounter to progressively get harder. Some of these have been harder than others. I will admit, I've done okay against Blaine. The last time I faced Blaine, the only reason I got out as scot-free as I did is because I gusted out the Arcanine, super effective 60 damage with an X attack. Yeah, this is peak Neurospicy. This is a lot of shit. But, you can see that out of the gym leaders, the only one who is not mono-type is Jasmine. She gets a couple of lightning-type Pokemon, partly because, like, Magneton's existence. But also just, like, there's not a lot of metal-type cards. And I felt like Scizor didn't fit in. Even if it did, like, Scizor and Fortress would have to be the other two to make her mono-metal. And I don't know. I just don't know. Price is honestly not a huge deal. Claire! Pardon me, but Claire is a bitch. Pardon my Calosian. A lot of these gym leaders, I go and I'm like, okay, right, what did I give the trainer cards? Right, I gave Jasmine counterattack, claws, energy removal, a focus band, a super potion. Right, so I made her an absolute bastard to fight. I say that a lot when I'm going through this. I'm like, I'm actively complaining about my own, like, game design. I was like, oh, that's rough. That's gonna be hard to deal with. It's like, yeah, that was the point of the design, wasn't it? You see, the Elite Four members have a bit more type variety. They still focus on a type, but, and of course, you know, Lance and Blue have no type consistency. That's what makes them hard. Rain World has Archipelago. Oh yeah, I think I've seen that's on there. And it's part of what, whenever I, like, go to set up Tunic randos, I'm just like, oh yeah, I gotta play Rain World. Now that I've got the stuttering fixed with my PC, I can actually play it without getting frustrated and gamer rage. Oh, well, the other changes to gym leaders. No longer do they have any dark or light Pokemon in their teams. That is exclusively reserved for the Elite Four and Champion. Yeah, this is me, going through... Yeah, these were the, trainer cards in the original, like, additional cards, weren't they? And... Burke. Let's see, new league wells. Yeah, we should probably just do that. Just get Downpour at some point, and we just spend a whole day just being like, let's just do this. Actually think this one has all of it. Yeah, so this has the, well, this one didn't save, apparently. This one should have saved the, additional starting decks. Well, it's a good thing that I've got them saved as objects, but I could have sworn I overwrote the save file. Oh. This is something else that I'm currently looking at, but I want to test out the new bags first. Because I don't want to change more than one thing at a time. I say that, like, I've been changing these things one by one. It's just been a while since I've done any streaming or anything. I want to cover these. So these are what I'm considering as new additional starter options. I don't know if Stage 2 is going to be a starter option. I'm gonna be honest. Some of these are just way too strong. And some of the types have just, like, no options. Like, Lightning only has Ampharos to choose from. Psychic, it's basically gonna be Alakazam or Gengar, and Gengar has no weakness. It just... I don't know. I don't know. So, I'm thinking it's probably just gonna be... You'll get access to basic Pokemon, and it'll be like, you still choose only one starter of each type. If you were to encounter one of these 8 Pokemon, you will instead encounter the starter you passed on. So if you would encounter Heracross, you'd instead encounter Parasect. If you would encounter Magmar, you'll instead encounter Rapidash, and so on and so forth. And, I mean, I think that could be fun. I'm not sure if I want to do that at the moment, though. So, we're gonna see about that. That said... saves. I'm going to show my current in-progress route. Right, I am starting route number 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm starting route 3, so I've just entered Act 2. I managed to suffer no KOs. Oh, this is the other thing. So, based on your team size, that now determines your bench size. So in the early game, you can't just fill up your bench with 2 of each starter and be set. As you can see here, I've currently got Light Ledian, I have Magcargo. Didn't I trade the Clefable? No, I didn't. I thought I did, but I did not. I caught it in case I needed to trade it, and then there was nothing worth trading for. Oh yeah, my first catch was a Snorlax, which is really good! Jack up his remote play. Just play through your copy. Only one of us needs the game. We can look into it. Right, I was choosing between... Oh god, Blaine or Morty? Probably Morty I can deal with more easily. But, I'm going with Magcargo in my team. Do I want to try and get more fire types? I only have the one water type with Starmie. This is where we can start countering stage 2s. Magmar and Hitmonlee. So, right there, you'd be encountering Rapidash instead. It's probably the one problem with the idea of trying to, like, start with basic Pokemon encounters. Is that... Yeah, I'll have to look at my schedule now that I'm doing a lot more physical therapy. This week has been open, but next week I'm going to be starting back up on it. It's just the pool was currently booked, and that's where I'm doing the physical therapy. They have a heated pool that I do my exercises in, which puts a bit less strain on my body. It means I actually get more benefit out of it. Morty has some good options. Type-wise, it's going to be kind of rough, but I think we go after Morty here. Place these right here. I've also been keeping this stack right here. You can see that now I just use rainbow energies instead of the basic energy cards. It's easier to keep track of. It means that I don't have to worry about, like, oh, well, which energy cards are they getting? Pulling from the right ones. I think here we actually are going to switch back. I've kind of been okay with the basics starting out, but like the thought of the starter Pokemon makes me want to go back to this. Yeah, and it's either Mischievous or Wobbuffet to start out with. I don't like either of those options. Shuffle these. I didn't do my rare encounters in Act 1. Oh, no, wait, I did. This is the Act 2 ones. Okay. I should have known because I have the Clefable. Got that in the first route. Alright. Now I gotta choose whomst is going along. I think we definitely take Snorlax here. I don't think we need Spearow. Oh, that'll just make it all the more fun. Like, well, we need to go here. How do we get there? Fuck if I know. So Snorlax pack. Hypno's risky, but I guess it's the type advantage. And then do we just go grass with Parasect and Light Ledian? Remember, we don't have to worry about fire at all on this route. Could also go with Raticate. We could have Big Man and Nibbles. think we do that. And then who for our fourth? Comet Punch can be kind of strong, but like the consistency of Slash might be better. Or do we even run Psychic? I've got a bad feeling that I'm going to be up against Golduck, but here's the problem. If I run Raichu in anticipation of Dark Golduck, Raichu and Hypno are a rough combo in this because they require 3 exactly of their respective color of energy. And it makes it where you really gotta have some energy type consistency if you want to run them both. I think Parasect's the smartest call here because it can go all colorless. Which means that you and you and you are all out of here. Well, it determines my starter. Or, not my starter, but the guy who's going to be on the board. It's Bug. Put these in here. Oh, we're still on Planet Zoldath. Okay, I was gonna say, like, have we heard Mooncat yet? No. That's like game number 13. I guess sticking with the grass type to some extent is probably so smart. Since I'm on green deck. Oh yeah. I realized that I forgot to do any stadium cards. So that's what should have been the first 2. I don't think either of those would have affected me. Resistance Chip. Well, that would have influenced my my decision to go with colorless types a bit. Granted, I still don't have enough type consistency around the board, but in that case, I might take out Raticate for Light Ledian. I think we're gonna do that. I think it's fair that, because you see the stadium card first, I'm gonna go ahead and give myself that one. We're gonna keep Snorlax because of its Pokemon power. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've done that before, getting to a point, just being like, I don't think it'll matter how I got here. Comes back to the game. How the hell did I get here? It won't matter if I remove this card from my deck. Removes it from my deck, immediately regrets it. Shit! My hubris! Okay. Kappa Crunches oops all energies. We got Pokeball and a double colorless right out the gate. And a focus band. Well, Parasect's gonna be stacked. Let's see what we get here. Another grass entry. Well, what's our first encounter? Dark Jolteon! I felt it in my bones. I was like, go with Sand Slash. Well, Sand Slash wouldn't have helped a lot. That might have also been part of why I was like, go with Raichu! Like, but I won't be able to get his type consistency. Go with Raichu! Brain, if you could have told me why you were saying that, I might have done it. Might have done that. Oh! The last change that I wanted to mention I've made. On the first turn of your first encounter per route, you may attack. That's kind of considered your surprise round. That's also so the player doesn't immediately get bodied and just have their run instantly end before they can actually do anything. It's just kind of a safety measure. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I think we go with Parasect here. And it's still the first turn of play, so I can't evolve into it yet. But I think here I'm just going to use the grass energies so I can save the double colorless for Eradicate. And I think I'm going to go with the Scratch for 20. Because next turn I can slash for 30 or I can catch. I have the option. It is going to use Lightning Flash. Right. Now, it doesn't say it on there, but normally an effect like that should wear off if you evolve, because the defending Pokemon is technically changed. Because, like, normally, a Scyther using Sword Stance and then evolving into Scizor, if you used Recall to still try and use Slash, the Sword Stance would have worn off. But, yeah, Eep! Come on, Pokemon. Did I shuffle this? I don't think I did. I have 6 in hand. Oh. Hit 1. Hey, big man! That's also good for double colorless energy. I think... Oh my god, I hate the UI of this thing sometimes, because it's just like, oh, did you want to grab the energy card? No, I didn't, dingus. Maybe we hang on to the potion. Got double colorless ready for Bigman. We're gonna just slash for 30, I think. We're not gonna bother catching Dark Jolteon. I don't foresee enough use for it. Not right now. Energy Amplifier. Pokemon Trader, Recycle Energy. Recycle Energy this early on is pretty good. Pokemon Trader is not half bad, though. I think right now Recycle Energy doesn't do us a ton of good. Let's go ahead and do that. It's a Charbaka! My god! What do I do to get you? What do I do about you? What's your angle? What's your shtick? 6, 7. And there we go. I was hoping for that. I could choose for them to switch into my Snorlax after Terror Strike. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do here. We're just gonna have to pass the turn. Kappa Crunch zoops all damage. Yes, question. You in the back, the crow, raising your bird winged hand. Terror Strike. Flip a coin first. Tails. Up. Up. That's fine too. I was hoping for a different Pokemon. Drowsy, there we go. Set you up with an energy. You need that leaf. Give the bug a leaf to chew on. You're hungry. Poison Fang does kill us here if I don't use Potion. I will have choice paralysis if we have all the characters unlocked from the gate. I will go with default. Just fully fresh. found that's how I work best with these kinds of games. Of like main world, how the character unlocks, and with Shotgun King, I'm glad that it starts you with the default shotgun. You unlock new ones. We just slash for 30. We get some energy. It's going to roll for a random action. It's going to Poison Fang. Wait, no, it doesn't have enough energy. It's going to Terror Strike. I forgot about that third energy needed. Bugger. Also, it's a weird thing, but whenever you use the switch function, if there's exactly 2 damage counters on an evolved Pokemon, they just kind of phase into it. It's annoying, but that's how it works. See, you have to pick up this, click and hold to move those, click and hold, drag them back over. Just gonna put them here for now. That's all that. Feeling 2. I was not feeling 2. Energy search. I can do this type of energy. Let's put a double colorless on Snorlax. We've got everything we need for Light Ledian. I'm gonna go with an energy search real quick. Actually, no. So we're cycling through cards right now. We're gonna wait on the energy search, but we're gonna try and get a psychic energy for Drowsy. Okay. Yeah, I think we just start with one of the default maps. Or, campaigns. Alright, good news is Body Slam still does 30. And KOs the Arbok. Double Gust, Recall. Okay. Super Potion here, I think. He thinks that's gonna be best here for us. If you're wondering why I don't tint the color of the cards to be green, it's because it wouldn't apply to the other cards that I would add to it, so I'd have to keep tinting it green. At least I think that's how it would work. Or fail to work. Venomoth! Now here's someone I want to catch! And I could do that with one attack. Must have been the wind. It's a leaf. That's an abductor. That's an Amber Alert. And we'll start you with the grass. We're going to preemptively evolve you into Hypno, because we want to empty out the hand. Again, this is a cardinal sin of TCGs. You don't do this normally. But what are we if not sinners in this this stream and chat? Cowards. That's what we are if we're not sinners. I passed my first turn, which means thankfully it doesn't get to attack with the energy. I think I'm going to reconcile the grass energy because Light Ledian only needs. You only need yeah, grass and double colors. There's a psychic energy I was hoping for. Draw 2 from here. Saving energy search basically for when I get around to this. I recognized this as the combatants theme. No, it's Avianos. We're okay. We're not at combatants yet, chat. That's game like 46. It'll be a long while. We'll have to be listening to this OST playlist for a long time before we get to combatants. You go on Body Slam for 30. And if we're lucky, we get the paralysis and just get a free catch next turn. We do! We are lucky and we do get the free paralysis and a free catch next turn. Because now it doesn't get to use Venom Powder. My turn happens. I'm gonna hang on to the potion energy. Yeah. Yeah. I think I can reconcile the plus power for now. Mooncat! Yeah! Yeah! Best game in UFO 50, Mooncat! Yeah! Oh, God, this game has done irreparable psychic damage to me. Why didn't I post on Twitter for going live? Well, no, that's my previous one of going live with UFO 50. Got a like from Hitman Gaming. What? Alright. Also, thank you, Alan, for the repost. I don't know if he's at work or anything, but... Alright. Yeah! That was from where I went live like 2 weeks ago with UFO 50. I don't know why! Sometimes when you make a post on an account, the bots are checking for recent activity, and they'll try and like some of your most recent posts, but the fact that I liked that one, but not the most recent post, is very funny. The bots are getting unwise. Not that they were ever smart to begin with. I think I dropped a card here. Yeah! Felt it in me bones! There's a Pokemon trader. Well, I could have gotten to there a while ago. Yeah, considering I'm still alive, I should be fine. We catch Venomoth here. Because Power Shift is great. You know why? We have a Psychic type. So yeah. Welcome to the team, Muff. Increase my team size. We delete a bench lock. So this doesn't mean we have to fill this spot with Venomoth. We're going to, but it doesn't mean we have to. It just means I can now put another Pokemon on my bench. So the team size is, you know, your active spot and all bench spots. And it's determined by how many Pokemon packs you have in your deck. Speaking of light Pokemon, they're bugs. I'm go ahead and put this down here. I'm glad I got Light Ledian right before that. Granted, it would have been the top card of the deck, so it would have been safe, but... Alright. Now it's time for the trainer fight. Oh boy, who's ready to see what we got in store for us? I had one of these where it was both of the basics. Dark Executor and Mischievous. Oh boy. Oh, those are some fast hitters. Max Burst. The way that Max Burst is phrased makes it sound like it's all of the opponent's Pokemon. That's 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's pretty bad. That's 8 coins it gets to flip. 20 damage per. I don't know. Because it's your opponent's Pokemon, not the defending Pokemon. I might make a judge's ruling that that's the defending Pokemon. Because otherwise, Dark Executor could be busted in gym fights if you just stall for a bit. Let them get some energy searches and ramping. You know? It's too bad that we don't have much of a resistance. We still get -10, but like, is that really anything here? Well, start my first turn. We'll get Light Ledian online. Accidentally killing each other while trying not to die? I think it's gonna be hilarious. I'm gonna throw a little spear and just, like, impale you to the wall and be like, oh, that was supposed to hit the guy behind you, and it did not. I'm very sorry. What guy behind me? There's a wall! You know, that's a great question. I think I saw a leaf rustle. Sorry about that, Misty. It's gonna get real stupid real fast. And that's what makes it good. We're just gonna say defending Pokemon. Oh, I turn. Energy removal. Technically still different ranges, so... Bugger! Stealing from each other, yeah. That's also gonna be really annoying for where we're going to have times where we're trying not to, but we're just hitting the button by accident. It's gonna be really silly. Okay, one heads. That's 20 minus 10. No. Tap that. There we go. I still have minus 10 resistance. I love if they phrase it this way. When every Pokemon that has a resistance in this generation has a resistance of minus 30. The dog is free. Let them be free! Let them run around and be a little scamp. Here's what we're going to use. Pokemon Trader. I'm glad I didn't play Energy Search right then, because it would have been really embarrassing. The hell is there? The hell is take a draw it. Play Energy Search for Psychic Energy. Chewing on a leather ring like it's an onion ring. Good. Very good. And I apparently drew a second gust of wind. I didn't even realize it. Oh, this is the first time I've heard this song in stereo. That's weird. Alright, well, body slam for 30. A turn. Use an energy removal on me, which sucks a whole lot. Bullhorn's pretty good. Squeaky ball! Yeah! It's gonna attack with just triple headbutt. Triple butt heads. Okay, that's 20 minus 10 is 10. I'm trying to get them to actually roll a distance. Tabletop Sims physics are so weird because, like, the momentum will just randomly die on these. Like, right there. So I was going at a decent clip, and then it just kind of died. I think it's because the attach wheel is a physical element. Yeah. It's, like, very, very small, but it is there. Drowsy jump scare. Sorry about that. Alright. We need that double colorless. Need that double colorless. Need that double colorless. Yeah, that's Gust. So, well, I'm just gonna do this. Yep, yeah, that's about how I feel right now. Oh, I forgot to re-roll their die. There. That's the kind of roll I prefer, where it actually has the ability to land on any of its sides. So when it just does the, like... Let's see if I can get it real quick. When it basically just goes like, along this way, just along the 4 faces, then you run the problem of the other 2 faces can't be a result at all. So it's more like you're rolling the coin instead of flipping it. Or rolling the die. You're flipping the die instead of rolling it. You get the idea. Their turn, they're gonna gust. Well, speaking of, it's their turn. Who has the lowest HP? You have 40, you also have 40. So it's a tie between those 2. Yeah, simply yeet die. Crap, it's the Venonat, that's who they're sending out. Or dragging in. Well, that's double 6. Max Burst actually does nothing because it doesn't have any energy cards, so they have to go for triple headbutt. Okay, thank God. It's only 1 Dabbledge counter. Come on, switch. Come on, switch. So I didn't need this gust of wind. Come on, switch. Come on, switch. Alright. Oh, we can still retreat out. Problem is we gotta deal with Mischievous, so Hypno's really a good option. I think we switch to Parasect here. No, Ledian. Feeling it in me bones. And then some quality of life mods. I think, with the exception of Skyrim, I think it's better to go without them the first time around so you can better appreciate them on future attempts. Okay, that's 40. We just needed that average Dabbledge. This Dark Executor dealt with. I might... What would I even trade? I might want to trade something for Dark Executor, but I don't know. It would go well in the deck. Well. Two. Alright. It's just going to be using Confuse Ray because that's the only thing that'll do any Dabbledge. Have any effect, rather. Tails. Thank God. I don't think we need energy flow right now. I really needed just a quick focus band. I've had it in my hand this whole time. Maybe we'll go ahead. Actually, no, we will energy search here for grass. You see why? We have much more grass energy in the deck, so we want to use that on Snorlax and conserve our Psychic for energy removals. We only have 6 of those. I'm going to X-Attack just in case this flips 2 heads. Because then it'll do 50 damage. We're going to Comet Punch. Yeah, get him! Never mind! I got Oops All Heads for 80, 90 damage. On a 50 HP target. I hate this stupid game. This stupid game I've made. Oh yeah, if we could customize our little dudes, that'll be fun. Can I give him a little hat? If so, I will be very pleased. Oh yeah, in my HeroScape group, the other Cody, he is specifically going with running the bugs and running cowboys as stuff, because he just liked the idea of getting the bugs and then he's going to glue tiny cowboy hats onto each of their models. Excellent, I can wear a tiny hat. Yeah, he's running bugs explicitly because there are already cowboys in the game, and he's going to get little Lego cowboy hats to glue onto his bugs' heads. And I'm like, good, that's how you do this. You're embracing the silliness of HeroScape. Yeah, I'll have to also look. Also, Block Koala. It's not like Block Koala has really been making my brain fry. You know, this puzzle game for little children. But 2's bigger than 3. I can push 2 into 3. No, you cannot. Why not? 3 is bigger than 2. What? Since when? Always. Yeah, I do like silly little guys wearing hats. It's a good aesthetic. So Pikmin needs to have hats. How do they wear them? Easy. Cut hole in top. Let leaf through. Simple. Fixed. Beautiful. Elegant. Well, do I take Blaine's gamble? I don't really tend to use it. Double Gust is kind of hard to use. If I had anger, I'd consider it. If I was angry, I'd consider that. I don't remember what it was, but I passed on a prize card before. Simply because it had a bunch of... This is also the only route I'm going to be doing today, I think. If only because I want to just keep this kind of short. I wanted this to showcase some of the changes that have been made to the game. That's all I really wanted to get across with this stream is having another video archive as well. Like, hey, here's a bunch of things that have changed. One of the things I want to change in the future is I want to get more stadium cards in, but it's hard figuring out how to make them work. The other ones just kind of don't work very well with this format. And I'd like to have it where the stadium cards are specific to the gym leaders. So like, Morty getting Resistance Gym. That's rough to deal with. That's actually a problem if you have to deal with that. Oh, I should also say Narrow Gym. That now reduces your bench size by 1. I got that on Route 1 on an earlier run. So my bench size was I could have my active Pokemon and 1 benched Pokemon out the gate. 1! I caught like the first thing I saw just to expand my bench like size. So that makes Narrow Gym significantly more of an issue. That's a leaf. Alright. No. Oh yeah, what did Morty get? He adds a super potion. Another one. Sleep, Magnifier, and Defender. God. Super potion was one of those cards that I kind of saved for, like, filling in the last few gym leaders who had slots remaining. Camouflage! Yeah! This is actually my favorite game on UFO 50. I already cherried it. I cherried and golded it at the same time. It tells you how much I enjoyed it. It was the first game that I got either of those on. I'm so happy that you can see my cursor in Tabletop Sim, because it really does just emphasize how much the machinimas have affected me. Oh, Mirthan221, thank you for the follow. There's the notification for it. Thank you so much for the follow. This is a silly roguelike card game that I've made out of the Pokemon TCG, and I've been losing my mind over for the past 8 months. I've been absolutely just losing it. I'm about to fight Morty's gym. Oh god, that's right, I gave him Slowking. Oh, now I remember why this fight's so obnoxious. Now I remember. Hey, so do you want it to be where every time you try to play a trainer card, you gotta flip a coin? And if heads, that card does nothing? Okay, I didn't play this right before. I would discard the card. It goes on top of the deck. Still! Soul King's a rough one. Trying to figure out Hydra Apple EX at TCG Live. Oh god. I have not played any of Scarlet Violet. I left the TCG during Sword and Shield. After Lost Origins. I was just like, okay, everyone needs to calm down with the same 3 decks. Oh, the cat, the dog rather. Yep. Oh no, the cat. Let me see. This is a very calm music for the situation I'm in. Where I've got a bit of a conundrum here. He also has strange behavior with Slowbro, and he has long-distance hypnosis with Drowsy. Yeah, these are all the Gen 1 and 2 cards. So these are very, very old. And it's because I found that Generation 1 and 2 kind of fit the roguelike card game the best. It's heavily dependent on coin flips, and it plays a lot slower. And the latter of those is a big factor. I tried to do this with my Sword and Shield cards. I suffered 3 knockouts on the first route. With 3 wild encounters, a trainer battle, and a small gym leader fight. Of, I think at the time, 3 Pokemon cards. Half of my knockout tickets, because you only get 6 knockouts. If you get a 6th one, you lose the run. Yeah, the newer game plays a lot more aggressively. So Slowking's Pokemon power is mind games. Whenever your opponent plays a trainer card, you may flip a coin. If heads, that card does nothing, and you put it back on top of their deck. So every time I try and play a trainer card here, it is a coin flip as to whether it will work. If I try and play a Pokeball, that's 2 coin flips. The first one to see if I'm allowed to play it, and the second one to see if it works. And then he's got strange behavior, and he will continue to just siphon damage counters away from his dudes. Mischievous, he'll just kind of let it rack up damage, though. And then the Drowsy with long-distance hypnosis. Every time it's his turn, he's gonna try and put my Pokemon to sleep. I made Morty really tough. Partly to compensate for the fact there's, like, no Ghost-type cards. Because Ghost types were just extremely rare back then. Oh, god, this first... the first turn I can't attack. So I gotta think. I can't use Flash Touch. But it would be... That might be the angle here. If we Flash Touch... and we send in Snorlax, he's only got 10 resistance because of Resistance Gym. But... that might be just enough to work. He's got 90 HP. And we've got Potion and a Super Potion in hand. Could be the angle. That could be the angle here. Okay. So we're going to... X and Y I never really played the TCG of. I honestly didn't. I I played a lot of first gen when I was growing up. I collected a handful of Gen 2 and Gen 3 cards. I played a little bit during Gen 5, like at the very start of Black and White. And then I didn't come back until Champion's Path and Battle Styles and Sword and Shield. And I kept going through Lost Origin. And then I was just like, okay, everyone's playing Mew VMAX, Arceus V-Star, or Giratina V-Star, and no one's being original or fun. This has lost all of its fun. But I ran a Rillaboom Voltage Beat and Dummice VMAX deck. And I refined the heck out of that deck. I really went through and very thoroughly, like, improved that over time. To the point where I was getting pretty consistent wins, or at the very least, close losses against high-tier decks. Because everyone would go in and be like, I don't know what he has. I don't know what his cards are. I can't count his cards. It's like, I know you can't. There's a freaking Cramorant V in there that kept earning its spot. Every time that I would get ready to remove it from the deck, it would save me in like 4 games. I'd be like, never mind. The bird is here for a reason. Save the bird. Keep the bird. I really enjoy, like, decks that are not, you know, it's trying to be the most optimal because it's the one that always wins the game. It's like, that's not fun. Like, make it silly. Make it stupid. You know, embrace the fact that Pokemon is a game about RNG. Yep. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's mostly just gonna be meta, and, like, people can't be fun or original with it. It's like, so every time when I play TCGO, I would be like, oh, thank goodness, a breath of fresh air. Someone's actually playing a fun deck. If your opponent's sending messages during the game, the little pop-up messages, that's how you knew that they were a real one. I think we do... We attach the focus band to Snorlax now. We already attached the leaf to Venonat. We passed the first turn because we're not allowed to attack on ours. However, he sure is. Let's see what trainer cards he's revealed. Oh, of course! Of course you've got a focus band ready. Of course you got a plus power too. And that magnifier just for good measure. Oh, it would shoot. Alright, well that's what he's gonna play on his next turn. He's gonna equip focus band. Oh boy. With Pain Split, that's potentially really bad. And Pain Split ignores resistance. Yeah, I tried a little bit at TCG Live. I was not a huge fan of it. The fact that it's clearly built for a vertical aspect ratio and there's so much unused real estate really hurts it for me. Like, people can play in landscape on their phones too. I get that you want to have it where it's going to be vertical on the screen, but, like, the worst part, the resolutions in TCG Live for, like, the cards were so bad, I literally couldn't read cards. So I couldn't tell what anything did when I got a new card. Like, they wouldn't blow it up enough and, like, use a clean enough resolution. Yeah, TCGO is dead. I wish that they had at least, like, kept some of TCGO's elements. Because, like, they got rid of the expanded format. And that was fun, having the ability to go back and play with the older cards. Now you can still collect those old cards, but you can't do anything with them on TCG Live. Not unless they finally added expanded back in, because that was an exclusive format to TCGO. From what I understand, at least it was. It was rough. We lost something good that day. Thankfully, Mischievous won't use Pain Split. It's just gonna use Confused Ray. I just really hope... Where'd the coins go? Did I delete those by accident? I sure did, didn't I? Oh, Expanded's back in? Thank God. They really needed to do that. That was a big problem. Yeah, because, like, having all of our Gen 5 through 7 cards on there and not being able to use any of them was kind of rough. I remember what I was rolling for. Confused Ray. Heads. Crap. Okay, that puts a damper on things. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I might try that. It's just I know that Expanded is also full of a lot of people either playing GLC, or it's full of people who have hyper-optimized their decks. And it's like, I have no idea what most of these cards do, because I've been out of the loop for a while. Oh, Black and White's not playable? That's weird. Because Gen 5 was where they kind of unified the format. They made everything streamlined. Pokemon powers and Pokebodies and Pokepowers all became just abilities. That was where they kind of like stuck the format in. Now, if Black and White's not playable, that's kind of bogus. Although, Black and White's also a lot lower on the power scale, so it might not even be all that viable. I still remember playing back in the earliest days of the TCGO, where there was an achievement system. And with the starter Embor deck, I remember I managed to get a very specific achievement, which was to have your opponent lose through all 3 conditions simultaneously. They had to have no cards in their deck, no Pokemon on their board, and you took your last prize card. And I somehow got that achievement. With the starter Embor themed deck that I had bought from Walmart. That's a wild one to get. They had the TCGO, like, beta players special deck box, and I had that on TCGO. I used that a lot. Sun Moon, Sword Shield, X and Y, Scarlet Violet. Yeah. So it's everything from the 3DS era onwards. I suppose that's probably... especially because they've got Megas from XY. It might be part of it is, like, the fact that Gen 5's EX Pokemon are just, like, they're nothing compared to what Gen 6 brought to the table, from my understanding. I got hit with confusion. This is very bad. Because Ledian no longer has the ability to evolve. It's already evolved. Full heal? No, no full heal. Okay. Well, we're just gonna have to go for it. Looks like we're gonna have to jump. Quite honestly, not quite literally, but possibly. Is the play here? Hang on. Is the play that I pass the turn, hope they succeed on long distance hypnosis, fail confuse race, coin flip, and I wake up from sleep? Or, no, that's too many coin flips. I'm better off just attacking with confusion, aren't I? I think that's the best I can do there. I think I will attach a counterattack clause to Ledian. Double check. During your opponent's turn. Got it. Okay, good. So my attempt to use Flash Touch will not trigger that if I hit myself with confusion damage. Oh yeah, like the Durant Mill deck. God, that was the one that I just still couldn't deal with, because that Rillaboom deck kept getting set back too hard. That was like the one bane to my existence. I was like, honestly, it's a funny deck. It's annoying. Nobody likes playing against Mill decks, but seeing a deck that's just a bunch of ants and they chew away at the top of your cards is really funny. Like, I'm trying to have a picnic here and you keep stealing the basket. Get back here. No. Quit that. Let me see. Let's go ahead and we're just going to Flash Touch. Does it work? Bugger. Well. Oh. That's the wrong thing. Confusion fails. I take 20 damage. Okay. On their turn. Going first, attach energy to the next Pokemon I'm waiting. Attach Focus Band. Place the card. Roll a second time. This time, oh great, they played the mystery card. Well, that's gonna be fine and dandy. And now long distance hypnosis. Come on. No. Alright. And then that doesn't do anything. Oh yeah, I need to flip for potion. Heads, okay, I succeeded. I didn't play any other training cards that turn, did I? No. Now they confuse Ray for 10. Letty hang in there. Also, counterattack claws. Yeah! Wait, that means they can do pain split now. For 20 damage instead of 10. Uh-oh. Okay. Hear me out. No, we still flash touch and go for the body slam. I was gonna say, we Comet Punch, and as long as we get 1 heads and use X attack, we deal 30 and KO the Mischievous. But it also has the focus band. Oh, that's a problem, isn't it? I'm sure it'll be fine. Hi, Ladybug. You're not who I was hoping to see. Hi, Paris. Also, not the bug I was wanting to see. Could you guys tell Venomoth when I put you back at the bottom of the deck on the next turn? Could you tell Venomoth to show up? Thanks. That really mean a lot to me. Oh, this is rough. Excellent. I want to see all the cosmetic mods for our Rain World, like, adventures. That's going to be silly. Really? This is Golfaria? Huh. I forgot that this game had, like, caves and stuff. I need to play more Golfaria, but I was trying to get through one of the first areas, and, like, there's clearly, like, a lob or something you could do, and I can't figure out how to do it in that game. It's some weird button combination or something. It's 2 buttons. You'd think it'd be easy enough to figure out. There's gotta be something we can... Part of me thinks I should just be saying the category is Tabletop Simulator for this, but, like, it is a specific enough thing that I don't know. I want people who are looking at Pokemon card stuff to be able to see this and be like, oh, what's this? This seems weird and stupid. And that's it. And I've had people follow and be like, this looks like a really cool, interesting project. I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm still working on it after 8 months. This started as just a silly hypothetical in my head. I was playing too much of Pokemon TCG for the Game Boy through Nintendo Switch Online. I was playing the Slay the Spire board game. And, I was playing a lot of Poké-Rogue. And just those 3 amalgamated in my head. I was like, what if I did Slay the Spire with the Pokemon TCG? Add newer cards. Actually, that is one thing that I'm trying to, like, work on making this for. So, I'm using Gen 1 and 2 as the foundation to get all the mechanics ironed out. So that then, once I make this a full release, people can come through and be like, I really want there to be a Gen 3 version. I'm going to take the Gen 3 card sets and make a new one that uses that card pool. If you wanted to have, like, X and Y in there, you could use X and Y cards and make, like, a whole custom pool. And then those people could post those and be like, this is Pokemon RCG, but it's using these, like, sets of cards, and, like, here's any modifications I made to the rules. I'm basically making a base game foundation for people to work on, as well as a functional, like, prototype of this. I really wish I was decent at programming any amount so I could learn Godot and remake this in Godot so it could be flashier. But, yeah, the newer editions of the game are very, very tricky to do this with, and it's gonna take some very talented people, who probably aren't me, to do it with newer stuff. But that is a hypothetical, like, possibility. If people balance it right and choose the right cards, they can absolutely do it. In fact, there's even points where you could have EX Pokemon appearing. In this, you have a legendary encounter on the 3rd encounter of Route 7 that might appear, but it's very rare. And then a Shining Pokemon, which was, like, the first Pokemon that had a rule box. You can only have 1 copy of any given Shining Pokemon. Like, right up here at the top right, you can barely see... I'm pointing with my finger. You can't have more than one Shining Mewtwo in your deck. Right there above the HP and type icon. If I move this tooltip down. Yeah. I think that another way to do it would be like, here's 2 adjacent generations. It's like having X and Y and Sun and Moon, you could totally merge those together into one big game. In fact, I think that'd probably be the best way to do it, because this uses generations 1 and 2. The only ones that probably wouldn't be able to do are gens 3 and 4. I think those would struggle because they're still kind of different-ish formats. They were still ironing some things out at that point. But if you want to do gens 5 and 6, or 6 and 7, 7 and 8, 8 and 9, then you'd be able to do that pretty comfortably. I think 3 generations and you're pushing it. Yeah. I think that's also best left to people who know those sets a lot better than I do. Because, like, I know Gen 1 pretty well, and I've learned a lot of Gen 2 cards through making this. I need to stress how much I've done with this. 46 pages, the last of which is 10 items instead of 20. I have custom labeled and added a description from TCG Player for every single one of the Gen 1 and 2 cards. There's 910 cards here. Most of them, or like a good half of them, aren't even used in the RCG. They just aren't. I was going through and adding the text boxes because this uses images from the internet. I was at a hotel for a few days and discovered that it loaded the cards in really low resolution with that slow internet. So for accessibility of people being able to read the text no matter what, I copy and pasted the descriptions there. A couple of them I had to reformat a little bit because they had weird Unicode going on. But yeah, I went through and labeled all of these. Every single thing. Yeah, I heard that XY to Sun Moon was a really good era for the TCG. But I certainly don't expect anyone to do quite this level of effort. The thing that makes these attach wells work is the card's name. Because this is labeled as Grass Energy, it attaches and it gets that icon to the well. And so that's why the focus band is right here. It knows that's a trainer card, it goes up through here. It specifically knows those things will do that. So like, I could put the Psychic Energy, if I took this Grass Energy actually, and if I renamed it Psychic Energy. Now it appears as a Psychic Energy. So that's how the game recognizes things with this mod. I found this, like, this specific board as a mod on Tabletop Sim, so you do have to make sure that you label things correctly if you want the attach wells to work, but they are very convenient to have. So I'd recommend anyone who is going to make this for new generations, try and choose all the cards you want, iron out the selection, and then label those cards. Because I know there's a lot more cards in the sets for newer games. This is back where Gen 1 had 6 sets, 2 of which I'm only using trainer cards from, and Gen 4 had 4 sets, and then there's the 52 Black Star promos that I'm using some of. And I think this game uses probably somewhere in the ballpark of 300 to 450 cards out of the 910 there are from that era. So, like, it's not using a ton, if we're being perfectly honest. I think the prize card pool is 84 unique cards, if I remember right. This game has a lot fewer cards than it could have. I am anxious to see people doing the newer generations with this, because those card pools are going to be massive. Alright, if I go ahead and save this real quick. And let me show you how, like, the roots look. Hang on, it's gonna rotate me. So, each of these is one of the Kanto roots in order, and one of the Johto roots in order. And these are all the encounters you can face on them. You notice it's a pretty small pool of cards. 2 basics, 6 stage 1s, 3 stage 2s. That's pretty average for this. Yeah, with Unity or something, you could absolutely make this so much better. Like, that's the thing is, if I was any amount good at programming, I could make it where now the AI will try to retreat when it's in knockout range, where it will make smarter plays. It will automatically take care of upkeep, where like this kind of stuff, these Pokemon powers would automatically activate. There's a lot that can be made better, but I am trying to focus on getting the basic mechanics figured out, and I think I've got the combat and everything pretty well sorted out, where if someone wanted to, they could probably start making this. I just need to make a proper rulebook that describes everything. But with Unity, or better yet Godot, because that's open source, and Unity's been making some questionable choices as of late, their business model has been very gritted teeth. Gritted teeth emoji. But with like a game engine, I want to make it where this would have like little animations for attacks. Like, oh, it used flash touch, and a little like flash sparkle would play, and then it would show like a little motion of the Pokemon moving away or whatever. Like, there's so much you could do with this to make it much more visually engaging. I don't know what people will do for the relics, potentially, in the later generations. I think what they'll probably want to do is take staple trainer cards that are just so good you always have them, and make those into relics of like, nah, if you want to have Quick Ball, you can have it, but it's taking up one of your 6 slots. And you're only going to have Quick Ball through that method. That's like a way to restrict it. I don't know. That's one way to do it. You could also have it be where it's supporter cards specifically. There's a lot of angles you could take it. I think the best ways to do stuff like that are going to depend on the generation. Some gens are going to need different approaches than others. But I'm hoping that once I've got this foundation done and I've made the full rulebook, people will be able to like actually really enjoy this. So like I've got the turn order, I need to adjust a couple things in here, I think. The setup I've waited to adjust in case I swapped it to being basic Pokemon. But like, you see that I've had to make, as Warp Tank is playing, this is kind of perfect for this. Each route, there's like slight differences in the setup. I did a lot of copying and pasting to ensure that the phrasing and everything would be very consistent with all this. But you can see that like, each route I have a step-by-step on here's how you set up the route beforehand. There's a little bit of errata. Special rules for the bench size. Coin Flips has a mercy rule where if you want, you can add this rule in of having the ability to reflip certain coins because the game's so heavily dependent on them. Ascension, I'm still working on like numbers and like an order for this, but like these are some of the ideas for it. And yes, a Nuzlocke mode is one of the options, where when one of your Pokemon is knocked out, at the end of that encounter, you remove its pack entirely from your team, your deck, your discard pile, and your reserves. It is gone. So, if my Light Ledian got knocked out here and I was doing Nuzlocke, at the end of this gym battle, if I survived, Light Ledian would just be gone forever. And I'd never be able to get it back. That's mostly there for people who are, you know, masochists and really want to be like, no, just throw me in there, Chief. Yeah, that's exactly my thoughts. It's like, I want this to be better and better and better. This is one of the few projects I've done in the past several years that I started because I just wanted to. I wasn't doing it for anyone else. I literally, when I had that thought that night, I was like, okay, brain, sure. I'll go dig out my physical Gen 1 cards and we'll try and whip something up. And then about 5 hours later, I'm like, why does this work? This shouldn't work. God dang it, now I gotta commit to this. I gotta commit to this stupid idea. Because it shows potential. It has not changed a ton from its original iteration in terms of the basic structure. Like, the running the encounters, having Pokemon stick around, stuff like that has always been there. But it is also leaps and bounds infinitely better than it was in its first iteration. So I've definitely I'm definitely proud of how well this has come along. And I think that with the right team of people, this can become something insanely fun. I eventually want to make a spiritual successor that uses its own IP and its own card game. And before I do that, I want to finish the roguelike card game because I don't want to leave this just partly done. I want this to be the best thing that it can be, and once it is, then I can be like, alright, let's take everything we learned from that, and now let's make the original game. A lot of good, like, games that we play these days start out as fan games or, like, game jam products. And heck, Hollow Knight was inspired by a game jam for, like, make a game in an hour. If you play the very original Hungry Knight, you'll be like, wow, that sure is the Knight right there. And nothing else here is relevant to Hollow Knight whatsoever. Yeah, Mega Cards would be an insane addition. Like, if people could figure out how to... It would probably be that the KO die would need to reset at the start of each route, because of how much more aggressive that era is. But, like, with this, I have it where you get one knockback. You get one knockout back at the start of each act. So at the start of Route 3, the start of Route 6, and at the start of the Elite Four, you get back one knockout if you've lost any. I was just saying, like, how a lot of good games that we play these days start out as either fan games or as game jams, and how Hollow Knight started out as Hungry Knight. And it was like a 1 hour game jam. You had an hour to make a game from scratch. And I was like, yeah, that sure is the Knight from Hollow Knight, and nothing else here is really relevant to it. And how they built off of that to make Hollow Knight is beyond me. Indie devs are actually built different. They're actually insane. They're crazy with it. Yeah, like, this structure, I think this is good enough where it is, where people could start trying to modify it for newer gens. I've mostly just been adding things and, like, tweaking little things here and there. But I think the foundation is solid enough that people could take this baseline and work it into other generations. I would recommend probably doing, like, the 2 generations pairing. And then, you know, having gym leaders based off of the leaders from those 2 generations. Yeah, big AAA, or I'm sorry, quadruple-A developers hate indies because they're so good. Sonic Team and Sega literally were like, oh, you think you can make a better Sonic game? Prove it. And then Sonic Mania happened, and they proved they could. And I'm like, did we learn our lesson? Sonic Forces happened. No, we sure didn't. Oh well. I've heard Sonic Forces isn't terrible, but its launch was bad. It was a very bad launch. My friend Jason tried to stream it when it came out, and right when he hit the 2-hour mark of playing the game, it would no longer run. And as soon as he closed his stream, the game started running again. And we were like, that's awfully strange. Yeah, Sega's better in the fact that, like, hey, we actually went and said to the indie devs, we'll let you make an official Sonic game. See if you can do better than us. They put their money where their mouth was. Yeah, they still can't decide what the hell a Sonic game is, but it's clear that they care enough that they want to try. I just think they really need to start listening to other people and be like, listen, you gotta have some consistency here, mate. You got drifting, you got rail grinding, like, sure, that's recurring mechanics, but that's not consistency there. I think we... Well, if it does damage to the defending Pokemon. We go for it. We ball it. Con. Quick flip. Comet punch. Damn it! Ah! That puts it at 70. And that means the pain split will knock out. Oh, that sucks. That sucks really bad. So... About that thing of light letting again. Oh, come on! Well, they gotta attach it to the Haunter that's next in line. They got a Gold Berry. That's a free super potion in between turns if they got 4 damage counters. Add another free card. And then they're gonna pain split, because that's gonna be a KO. Well, there's the first knockout of the run. Having the knockout die recharge a little bit has definitely helped this game. Yeah, Sega needs to figure out how to market their games properly. That's definitely one big part of it. Alright, well, get in there, big man. Yeah. Go get him. At least he'll be able to do full knockout damage. The question is, will Focus Band proc? And the answer is probably maybe. I don't know. We can actually put away the Psychic Energy too. Put that back first. I'm really glad that I played Yashima, because that gave me the idea for the reconcile mechanic. And, it's really good. Glad I yoinked that. I'm gonna hang on to the double colorless for now. We're gonna give the grass energy to Ven back. Because they might use an energy removal next turn, and if they do, they'll get rid of the double colorless. This is another thing, is like, having this running in like Unity or Godot or something would allow me to have it where the AI can make it smart moves. Of like, oh, if I get rid of this, that sets them back more than getting rid of one of these. So I'm gonna get rid of this with energy removal. And it, like, seeing knockouts and stuff like that. Also, I just realized both of these have a focus pit equipped. But that's, like, you know, the kind of stuff that I want to try and get into. I think we need to set back the Slowbro now while we've got the energy removal. I gotta play it. Flip the coin. Nope. Alright, goes back on top of my deck. At least it's not like I did the last time when I played this where the card went to the discard pile. Because that was brutal. I still won somehow. I don't know how, but I did. We're just gonna body slam, and we're gonna flip the coin for Focus Band. Son of a gun! Well, that's unfortunate for me. Because now it's gonna pain split, and I won't even get the resistance. Because it is phrased as put a damage counter on the defending Pokemon. It is not an amount of damage being dealt. Uh-oh. Yeah, my energy removal failed. Well, crud. That's not great for me. Energy search in this for the AI counts as basically an energy ramp. They get an extra energy card attached. Oh yeah, poor Puyo Puyo. Let's do the normal campaign mode. And then if I'm like, okay, this is too much, then I'll chicken out and do easy mode. I think that is gonna be pain split, which is sucks. Hey, good news. You know what I could do? I could super potion on this turn. Two cards. There we go. Felt it in me bones. I was like, draw two. Complete one or the other. Gotcha. We're gonna super potion here. Heal back to full. Get rid of, actually, we'll get rid of the potion energy because it's done its job. Actually, no, because I've got energy flow from being the green deck. And then we'll attach a double colorless. We'll play energy removal. Not that it's gonna matter. Oh, of course, now I get it. Well, we can at least get rid of the energy of the Slowbro. Not that we're getting to it yet. The next thing I gotta deal with is that Slowking. I've been forgetting to flip for long distance hypnosis, but it doesn't matter because Snorlax can't be put to sleep. And Light Ledian, we flipped. I think we flipped around the turns. I don't remember. That's one of the biggest things, is like stuff like this needs to be able to proc without the player having to remember. We just body slam here and KO. After like 7 turns, I have dealt with the first Pokemon. Now for the other 4. You gives energy to a Slowbro. There's nothing to be healed, so the potion goes and reconciles. And sure enough, there's an energy removal. It's a reroll. And there it is. There it is. It's okay. I've got grass energy in hand. I can still get back up to speed with it. They can't... Wait! Well, Haunter's just free. The only damaging attack it has doesn't work unless the defending Pokemon's asleep, and Snorlax, ironically, cannot be put to sleep. Well then. And Hypnosis doesn't work. Well, ain't that just nifty? In that case... Oh, I'm gonna reconcile the Gust of Wind, I think. Actually, no, we're gonna hang on to that. We've just gotta get through Haunter, and then we can start exploiting that Psychic type weakness. Oh, hey, speaking of energy flow. You know what I could do? No, it won't work quite. No, we need to keep the energy cards on Snorlax. Okay. I was thinking maybe we energy flow some of the cards back from Snorlax, but no. We need to just like it hit and lose the double colorless from energy removal, and then just give it the grass. That's what we're gonna have to do. Well, we're just gonna body slam for 30 damage. And thankfully that won't be enough for Goldberry, and we will get a 2-turn KO here. Slowbro is finally fully online. Reveal the card. Energy removal. Place this. Oh, game kind of hitched there for a second. There we go. That's a proper roll. And it's the freaking 2 again. Oh, it's always the 2 with you, isn't it? Why I order? Why I order? Alright, my turn. Because they can't do anything. Oh, grass energy from hand. It's also my last double colorless. That's the one in play. Right, because he comes with 3. The heck did the 4th one come from? Oh, no, wait, right. The Snorlax pack is 2 Snorlaxes and 4 double colorless. Right. I'm thinking of the starters. They come with 3 double colorless each. Alright. I think we just body slam a KO here. Which means, thankfully, the Goldberry never gets to proc. And now Drowsy comes in. And thankfully Nightmare will just be 10 damage that we still resist from Resistance Gym. So we also hard wall the Drowsy. Excellent. I can hit that with a body slam. And then I can send in Venomoth to finish it. And at that point, we could try and deal with the Slowking. Or... we would want a full heal in hand. Oh yeah, on their turn though, with Drowsy. Okay, full heal. They reconcile that. Good. 4, Magnifier. Alright, well that's going to allow it to do like 10 damage on the next turn. Here's what we do! Oh, here's the big brain play. Okay. We don't need an energy flow. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. We don't need the Pokeballs. Get those out of here. We're gonna hang on to Energy Surge because of removals. Double full heals, double switches. Okay. Questioning that shuffle a little bit, but sure. The full heals are exactly what I wanted, though. So we're going to use Chase here. Because they can't cancel that with Slowking's ability. Now we're going to drag in Slowking. Now, what we need to do is we need... the switch is the other thing we wanted. We need to body slam Slowking for 30. We flip a coin to see if it gets paralyzed. No, it does not. That's fine. On Morty's turn, he reveals a second plus power. Son of a gun. Oh, I hit the space bar. It does that when that happens. I was prepping a defender. That could be troublesome. Attach defender to one of your Pokemon. At the end of your turn, discard magnifier. If the Pokemon magnifier is attached to your attacks, don't apply resistance. So, let's go attack with Mind Blast. Thankfully, we can't get confused. Tails. It just does 20 damage. There's no resistance. Resistance is futile on this turn, but it's fine. Alright. It's got 50 HP remaining. So now, we're going to play a switch. And we're going to send in Hypno. And we're going to Dark Mind for a super effective 60. And we're going to put damage counter onto... it doesn't really matter who. Put it onto Drowsy. So even if they use strange behavior on their turn, which they would have, yeah, that still makes it where 60, 80. They don't have the defender yet. I keep saying they because I realized I was saying he with Bugsy, and I was like, they. And now I'm just like, everyone's they, and that's not correct. I don't have a person sitting across from me. I don't have a reminder of gender. Come on! Come off it! Are you for real here? Double defenders and double plus powers on the board. Oh, great. It's always the Mr. card. Drowsy is going to attack for a super effective 20, and the Pokemon's now asleep. Alright. In between turns, I flip for sleep. Heads! I wake up! Yeah! Didn't even need full heal. I don't think I have a plus power. Huh. I guess I picked up an energy flow at some point during one of the previous routes, and I forgot about that. Yeah, energy removal would be great here. One of the big things is, because the AI keeps getting to add an energy card each turn, there comes a point where energy removal becomes useless, and I want to find a way to fix that. I just haven't figured it out yet. That's the one big thing that still bugs me, is energy removal, of all things. I've now fixed it where, by adding more energy cards to the Pokemon packs, it feels less punishing to the player every time you have to manual retreat or get hit with an energy removal. It's like, okay, I can make that back. Instead of, well, crud, now I, like, statistically, like, numerically speaking, I can't do it. But I'm still working on figuring out, you know, how to make it where energy removal feels useful for the player. It's really just a stall tactic. It doesn't set them back, it just kind of halts them where they are. I think it'd be nice if there was a, like, 1 in 6 chance that they just don't attach an energy. But, I don't know. Something like that might be good. You've got the defender, which is an issue. I have no way around that. Oh wait, no it isn't, because you've already got 10 damage. Dark Mind is 60 super effective, minus 20 from defender is 40. That's still enough to KO. Alright, we're good. We go ahead and put another damage counter on you. Doop, doop, beep. And Slowbro comes in. Also don't know why sometimes they face through the floor there. I think it's because this Pokeball part... No, it's a single texture. But it seems to have, like, weird collision or whatever with that. Sometimes. Alright. Oh, this is Porgy. That's which game this one is. Energy Search. You know, the Energy Search. For all the energy that they don't need to attach, and therefore will reconcile the card. Alright, well, Psyshock is super effective 40, putting me at 60 damage, which is really bad. Well, even if I get paralyzed, I've got full heal. We win here. I sure do get paralyzed, though, just as a little insult there. Well, on my turn, we're just going to play full heal. And Dark Mind for a super effective 60, which is enough to KO it at its base HP. Honestly, that would help of just, like, being able to look at some cards from Scarlet and Violet that might be worth checking out and getting some ideas from. Because that could just inspire me of, like, this is how I could tweak the mechanic. I definitely think that the wider card selection for newer generations will help this game tremendously. Because I'm severely limited in here by what is available to me. But that's also part of what's forced the development of this to go the way it has. It's forced me to come up with creative solutions to problems that you wouldn't normally think about. I started doing this with, like, physical cards, and that... Oh! Hey, Max Revive! There's only one of these in the entire prize pool. And the Super Energy Retrieval, for that matter. We're still early in the game. I don't know if I need Super Energy Retrieval, though. Now, Energy Charge is really good for the late game. I think we take that. I haven't... Well, actually, we've got Snorlax. And we might get some more good basics. Potion Energy for sure. And I think we take the Max Revive, actually. That's the weird thing, is that stuff like Potion Energy actually goes into your bag deck. And that is so that when you delete your team deck, you don't accidentally delete special energy cards that you've added. Because that was kind of annoying to go through and, like, remove the cards. I've made it where now it's less tedious to do the in-between games, like, stuff. Trainers, yep, alright. Move all these cards up to here. That actually worked. Let's see. Focus Band goes back. Potion Energy goes back. Over. This is one of the things of, in between routes, any evolved Pokemon revert back to their basic form and retain one basic energy of your choice. Any Pokemon who are not evolved, regardless of whether or not they can, go and leave the board. If your active Pokemon leaves the board in this way, then at the start of the next route, but the start of it right before you reveal the first encounter, you'll be able to just choose, here's who I want to have as my active. I'm gonna finish this up by showing how the new route is chosen. So let's see. First off, we need to grab these. We need to discard Resistance Gym, and we need to put a new Stadium card out. So we get to see its Healing Field. 4, which has already been taken for Johto. 8 for Kanto. And we have to re-roll Johto die. That's a 4 again. It really likes 4. I've noticed that. 1. Yes, Falkner. So it's either Giovanni or Falkner. And I'll get to choose between those two. You're allowed to look and see what encounters are in the pool. You're allowed to see what trainer cards they'll add. You're allowed to see what their team is. You're allowed to look at all that stuff because it's the same as looking at a wiki. So you might as well be allowed to. And then we reveal 4 unknown relics. Because there's a total of 25. You reveal them 6 times, so it leaves 1 behind. Join and give are really good. Join would probably be the most helpful. Yeah, we're going to go with Join. We just took Max Revive, so we don't really need Increase. And I'm not worried about Dark at the moment. So then we put these 3 up here in the skipped prizes. So you're allowed to choose your relic based partly on, like, oh, these are the gyms I'm considering going up against. And, like, here's the stadium. Giovanni's got some high HP cards. But I've already caught 2 very good grass cards. So I can deal with his team pretty easily. His team gets absolutely destroyed by grass types. As long as you're careful with yourself. I think it's Giovanni here. So we just delete the bag for Faulkner. And we go and take out all this. Put Giovanni over here. Take a card off. Delete it. Put these here. And now, shuffle the stage 1 encounters. This is how routes 3, 4, and 5 are done, specifically. Do that. And we shuffle in the basics. Hey, onion delivery! The game that I dread trying to get a gold on, let alone a cherry. Yeah, this is Route 4. On Route 5, we actually get to fight our rival. I wish I could show that off right now. The rival has a team that stays consistent with each encounter. So you fight them as the trainer fight for Route 5, the trainer fight for Route 8, and then the champion fight. Which, I'm really proud of that, of like having to throw back to Blue. Because Blue had to get relegated to an Elite 4 spot. If you're wondering why Blue is in the Elite 4, it's because otherwise the Indigo Elite 4 only has 7 members that we know of. We don't know of an 8th member, so Blue had to just go in there. That was the best I could do. Oh, we can get Nidoking! Can I finally get Pointy Man? I've got a 1 in 8 chance of encountering him. Please! I just want Pointy Man. I also would not mind Cool Steve. But Pointy Man would be preferable. Actually, I might go on to get rid of Drowsy. That's worth noting. We definitely don't want to keep Big Man in here, Snorlax. That's a terrible idea. We're definitely keeping Light Ledian and Venomoth. Because they're both resistant to fighting, and they're grass types, they'll be super effective. So they kind of, you know. And I think we add in Fearow. And then just to deal with, like, poison types and stuff on the route, I think we keep Hypno. And we just get rid of... Wait, no. I need to get rid of this Parasect, don't I? Right, I forgot about that. Alright, move this over here. We need to get rid of Venonat and Grass Energy. So these cards that I'm deleting right now, these are ones that are already on the board. I also prefer to press T to bring it up, because every time I try and right-click, I swear I rotate the board like I did just then. After stream, probably not, and I'm probably about to wrap it up here with just setting up this route. Yeah, I don't have anything planned for Wednesday. Get that shuffled up. And weirdly, like, the team deck starts out significantly bigger than the bag, but pretty quickly it becomes where the two are pretty much equal size. Oh yeah, Crushing Hammer. That could be good. Yeah, Crushing Hammer's a good one. That's an energy removal, but it's a coin flip. The main thing is I want to make energy removal feel like it manages to do anything against the computer. Because that one is, like, because they keep getting an energy each turn, you're only able to kind of, like, halt their progress. You can't set them back actively with energy removal. Maybe that's just going to be part of the challenge. I don't know. Maybe that's just how it should be. Well, I said I was going to stop after that route, but I think I'll at least do an encounter. That's not bad open in hand, I'm gonna be honest. Can we get Spearow though? No, that's another Venonat. Oh, hey, cat! I'm doing more nonsense. Oh, hi, Dr. Trio! Well. This could be bad. It's only got 50 HPs. Well, there's not a lot I can do here besides just pound for 10 damage. Yeah, I'll be fine. He only gets an energy this turn. Just cheat. We're not cheat, but oh, I can use join to get Venomoth. Okay, we have a through line here. I need to not look for the first time. I'm gonna try for Spearow. Grass Energy is also what we need. That's exactly the cards we needed just now. Okay. Drowsy's gonna have to pay an energy to retreat. That sucks, but oh well. We do have to do a coin flip to see if he takes 20 damage. Heads. If tails. Okay, we're good. He's free. Alright, now we use join to search my deck for a Pokemon, a basic Pokemon or evolution card. Venomoth was right there. He's ready. He's ready to go. Get the all-terrain Venomoth in play. Okay. Do we burn energy removal this soon? We're not afraid of it anymore now that we resist it by 30. If it gets, right, your opponent flips a coin. If tails, it does 40 damage. Which will only be 10. So we're not afraid of that. I'm now going to evolve Drowsy into Hypno just to get that there. And we'll put... Actually, I already played a Grass Energy. Alright, we Venom Powder for a super effect of 20. And we flip a coin to see if we get to poison it, and... Yeah! Yeah! And it's poisoned. Its turn. It gets an energy, and it has to flip for confusion. Ah, man. Alright, now I flip a coin for the attack. Heads. Okay, it only does 20 damage, which means I take none. And then in between turns, poison damage puts it at 50 damage, and that knocks it out. Good first encounter. Whew! That could have been really bad. That could have gone so sideways. Defender. Get another one of those in there. We've hit the halfway point. I'm less likely to take Super Rod now. Miracle Berry, we're honestly good on, like, stats conditions at the moment. I haven't been struggling with those. Hi there, Kangaskhan! You got a lot of HPs. Yeah, we can do a call after. I just need to, like, grab something to drink real quick. And I think I am going to go ahead and call it there for today. Yeah, I was just about to say, I'm going to call it there, but I am happy with just how much progress I've made for this. I'm going to be uploading the VOD of this to my YouTube channel just right after. Yeah, I'm sorry, Kat. I know. You and I have got to get together hopefully soon. I've got to do the same with, like, I gotta get together with Cran, probably Weird. There's a handful of people. Tomato, not Tomato Ghost, different Tomato. I need to get together with a handful of people and walk them through everything and get this, start getting some playtesting done where we can iron out the last handful of mechanics. And then, once I've got a rulebook made, we can open this up as a public mod. People will be able to, like, access a PDF in the game. It'll just be off to the side, and they'll be able to just flip through the rulebook, get all their answers, because having it in the notebook is pretty laggy, I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty rough getting through here and being able to, like, you know, do all that stuff. But it'll be really good, and then once we've got that foundation out there, people can start trying to, like, figure out, oh, I want to make a Gen 5 and 6 version of this. I want to make a Gen 6 and 7 version of this. And just really have fun with it. Because I think when people get into that, that's where we're going to see some of the crazy plays. Because there's going to be a huge selection of cards. And it's going to get wild real fast. I'm going to be watching streams of this, like, in a year. And I'm going to be seeing people be like, good lord, you're actually correct. Yeah, some newer cards will just, like, result in a better meta for this. Like, considering how restricted I am with the current version, I'm shocked at how well it plays. I think once this has access to newer cards, it's going to really get crazy. Because people are going to have just so many options. I'm excited to see what the encounter pools will look like, what the teams for the gym leaders will be like, what kinds of, like, trainer cards they choose for prize cards and for the starting decks. The starter Pokemon will be really interesting to see. It's going to be really cool. And I'm very proud of just how well this has come along. I'm always open to, like, suggestions, critiques. Like, the biggest problem of doing this solo is getting stuck in my own head, which is why I started streaming it once I got it onto Tabletop Sim. I wanted to start getting other people's input and feedback, because someone might point out something very obvious that I just completely overlooked, like Crushing Hammer. Yeah, that's going to be a much more forgiving card to go up against in trainer battles, because energy removal felt horribly punishing, so I had to add more energy cards in this version. But newer Pokemon TCG does not run as many energy cards in a pack, or in, like, a deck. So you'd just be flooding your deck. But if, you know, energy removal becomes Crushing Hammer, and it's a coin flip as to whether or not you lose an energy, now you're not going to feel quite as punished there. Yeah, and then there's Anna just being the crow squawking into my ear. Just, ah! Rain World! Yu-Gi-Oh! Just like, yes, Anna. I agree. Rain World is going to be a stupid and fun time. We won't be streaming that, more than likely. We might do, I don't know. We'll figure it out whether or not we want to. But, oh god. I'm half tempted for us to stream Ranch Simulator at some point if we could get 2 more dinguses in there with us. God, the cat being like, it doesn't want to drink water. Why won't it drink water? It's thirsty. And then it was like, oh, we had to get a doghouse because it's like called a pet house. Yeah, we could record it and split it into parts. We could do that. That'd probably be better. Yeah, let's see if there's anyone live I can raid. We should default to people I'm following. Not really anyone. Frost Prime's been live for 12 minutes, but like, eh. So I guess we'll just go ahead and end it there. Unless, Kat, are you about to be going live soon? I'm trying to remember if you stream Wednesdays. I don't think you do, right? Oh, actually, tomorrow. Okay, I thought so. Yeah, so we'll just go ahead and end stream there, and I'll set the VOD uploading. But thank you to everyone who stopped by. Thank you, Martha, for following and for your input. I'm very much looking forward to working more on this. And yes, I'm very excited to see people do newer generations of cards. That's going to get really, really interesting. There's a lot better type variety balance in the newer generations. Especially with, like, Dark, Metal, and Ghost Pokemon. Fire and Lightning cards suffer so heavily in this because just the sheer lack of variety. We're going to be able to see a lot more interesting stuff. I'm curious to see what the Gen 3 card game version of this is going to look like. Because that had some wild stuff going on. That had some very crazy things. But yeah, we'll end the stream there. Thank you everyone who stopped by, and I look forward to streaming a bit more of the development of this. I don't really have anything planned for tomorrow. I might test my new setup for my retro PC capture, which involves utilizing my capture card to capture a copy of my monitor feed from an Optiplex 360. Listen, Mario's Fundamentals has been really stubborn. It doesn't want to run on Windows 10. So, in order to run certain Windows 95 and 98 games, I may have to run them on Windows XP. And sure, I could use a virtual machine, but that eats up a lot of resources, and is also annoying to set up. I have a virtual hard drive for it, sure. But, like, I've also got an Optiplex right here. So, why not just make a bunch of cables plugged together and suddenly it works? I'll test it out and see how it works, and if it does, then I might stream a game that I was messaging Zen about, which is Pac-Man Adventures in Time. Which is a PC Pac-Man game for Windows 95 and 98. It's from Infogrames. If you can believe it. I think that's pretty believable. Copyright 2000, yep. Oh god. The specs on some of these old games. Alright. That'll be it. I will see you guys later. Bye.